Hello everyone, this is Spirelli and we are back with the Banner Saga. So, we just saved the basement and it is dark and silent once again and the survivors hustle to seal and cover the holes. You're suddenly glad you saved the men, because you could use a trinket right now. Someone just thanks effort that only half the Menders have survived. 4 days. Last time I only managed to do 2, so I think I made some quite well decisions on this one this time. And we should be right at the tower, okay? Right there. I've been telling you for some time now that we're right at the tower, right there. Come on, come on, come on. This is the white tower, right? This gigantic thing. Oh man, and we ran out like seconds before being there. In the back of your mind, you always knew it was coming. A fearsome figure stands before the white tower, before a crowd of warped terrors. Almost started to worry you wouldn't make it, Warwick crows. How'd you get here so fast, mister? Knew I'd see your smiling faces again. I was expecting a serpent myself. The serpent carved a path for me straight to this place. You remember the quakes near the cliffs and put the pieces together. You must be getting pretty desperate if it brought you here to deal with us. On the contrary, seems like a great idea to me. Go ahead and try some mind tricks, see what Rachel really looks like. This is last chance for a reason, Warwick. Your ravens can survive this. They're not mine anymore, witch. You know I saw this place in my dreams. So this is where the Valka did all the dirty deeds, stole your powers. Never thought I'd end up taking the trench site. Yeah, there's the option to rush him. I could try and talk sense and I don't think that will work. I could like talk him up, or I could just rush him, which, yeah, like, let's do it. Launch your weapon acting toward Bog with the momentum. Because there's no talking sense in him. Juno didn't, not Juno, Falca didn't manage. So who else should? Okay, just checking. I should promote whoever I can promote. Okay, put all my money on you. Get some bonus grit and... No, wait, I wanna avoid armor damage. And let's go. We need to fight him, we need to get past him, and then we can get into the tower. And then... I've had enough. I've heard enough. Both of those things, honestly. Head back. Stay out of my way, over. You can get closer. And then I'm ready. Honestly, I want to back up a little, because I don't want to have him be in there alone. Always when there is any kind of things in the way, it's very tough to see with these on, because they all count towards having life. But it's good to have them, because the enemy is blocked. I shouldn't go that far in. Can confuse him though. Nice. That was very good, because otherwise this might... Ah, he's sucking on me. I wonder whether this music is getting too loud or it's just me. Might just be me. Go here and use my trick to get past some armor. Wait, your close range attack, right? What did I click? Oh, it's too bad there's no like undo. Because I sometimes move my cursor slightly and then suddenly, oh, you wanted to go all the way over there? Well, sounds kind of weird, but if that's what you wanted to do, that's what we're gonna do. I mean, who am I to stop you? Yeah, take off your armor. And we critted him. He's gone. 22 in one hit. What teachers could say that now? Like, not from school, but, you know, from training here. In-game training. I think I want to confuse. Yeah, so confuse does work on him. Oh wow. But he kicked him away first. Can bypass some of the armor. I want to actually use this. So that I can also hit you for one. I guess that's that. So much going on here. So much going on. Well, we need to get through. Okay. Let me. Can't get more willpower. I always still forget it. I've done so many fights in this, I still forget I can't just get willpower back. Bloody flail you. Okay, that was nice. Hui. Soon. I'm getting to you. Can attack for 2. Ice block should not really have a life like that. And that's Bulwark. She's just standing there trying to hit a bit. Bloody flail you. That's her. But no, stop. This is the one thing where like controller isn't that great because you need to roll all the way through. It's like, do you want to take this stone? This stone? Maybe this stone. Do you want to not this stone? Then it must be this stone. What do you mean this stone? It's like, no, I just want to attack the enemy, please. That was a crit that took almost all his life. That was very nice. Let's collect over here. Then we can return on the next turn. Can you do some more of that bloody flail, please? I wonder whether this whole feeling of the end is upon me makes me feel like the game is ending soon. You know, the whole like all is lost, and do we even have enough time to get anywhere? Kinda existential crisis. Yeah, let's take off his house armor. Save yours. Where are you? Where's your corpse? Why can't I see your corpse? Is it on here? That kinda needs to be highlighted a bit better. You wanna kill anybody, buddy? It's not quite killing. This is how you kill. Your last turn. There we go. Okay. Now can we go into the tower? And save the world? You glance up. The White Tower is much taller than you imagined. Tall enough to reach the sun, you wonder. A trick of perspective? No. There really are that many stairs. Borvik doesn't look right, still as he is, but he doesn't rise again. Raven stare, wearing a wide range of emotions on their face. You have no time to gape. For yourself. You track Avon toward the tower, where stairs spiral upward beyond sight, and you take the first of many, many steps. Chapter 22. Only we few remember it now. We are there! Is the bridge just gonna collapse in front of me? Quickly, the top of the tower is just up these stairs. This is crazy. I still can't believe that's an actual sun. You're really going to put it back in the sky somehow? Avon will. Juno, there has to be some other way. I can't. You can. We've come this far. Wait, Juno, wait. This is really happening now. Give me a moment. Juno and Avon embrace one final time. Avon whispers something meant only for her. And then you are forced to move on. So, the whole thing behind us is a sun. And it's emerging lightning. That is crazy, if I may say so.
The world lives or dies here. This is it.
Okay, so the witch told us she's not sure there's not a trick in play, and those two said they're gonna put Juno into the sun. At the center of the tower, Juno sits upon the pedestal, and Ivan reluctantly begins his task. Juno hovers in the air, immobilized. She looks peaceful, as if finally letting go of the burden she had carried this far, when you hear a familiar rumbling. No, 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 come on, we got this. The serpent, of course. It's kind of falling apart, isn't it? The serpent raises its tattered head to the tower top. It speaks an ancient tongue as before. Begone, creature. You don't even have the strength to crush this tower anymore. The serpent continues its low, Undulating speech, like smoke rolling over seawater. Ivan stops. He's listening. Gorla Svalvel. What does it want? It is giving up. It wants to make a deal. Half a prophecy of extinction, it says. The darkness will lift and will spare Aberrang. Consumes only half the world. Half the world in exchange for what? Juno's energy. If I release it to the serpent, Juno will be gone, but she won't suffer. Can tell Avery is seriously considering it. Ivan, this isn't what we came to do. Things change, Ivor. It is out of your hands now. Tell me why. Have I not earned that at last? At least, Ivan returns his attention to you with frustration on his face. Behind him, the serpent rails in resentment at being ignored. Why? Because Juno doesn't deserve this. Don't you understand what is happening here? How could I? I've been nothing but lies and secrets since we first met. What choice do we have? Try to imagine if I told you the truth when we met. It was hard enough convincing anyone to listen in the first place. Back in Singapore, when I begged you to wait for Juno, how long did you wait? Not even a single day. And that's true, but just be told it is because the first time around I waited for a long time and nothing happened. I don't think she can even show up. I was there. I waited until we started starving and then I waited some more. And only then I finally left because I thought there's no way. So the next time I was just like, yeah, but you know what? No, she's not going to show up. Let's not wait. Not after all I did neither to save the world from complete extinction. No, if you knew the truth, you'd have shown me that like myself. I couldn't even trust you to save yourself. Trust all this was you doing, Ivan. You think I don't know that? What's the point of this, Ivor? So brothers and clansmen can keep killing each other over petty disputes. So Val and Tretch can go on destroying each other over ancient history. Even after we realized that Tretch were only fleeing the darkness, same as the rest of us. Even after discovering a Tretch child dying in the snow, an infant, everyone was ready to slaughter it like a pig. And yet the Tretch child lives on, even now. So maybe one in thousands is spared. Is this really what you want to argue right now? If you're going to ask me to weigh the fate of the world against Juno, then tell me why should care. Serpent says that anxiously. It is not accustomed to being ignored, but Ivan continues on in spite of danger. We both know how this world really is. Remember at Dengro's Scotchstone? The old woman likes to have faces about who attacked who, and she mocks us for not butchering the stone hole on sight. And even with the truth laid so bare before us, there was a debate. How can we hope to overcome that kind of spite and ignorance, that hatred? What are we fighting so hard to preserve exactly? I will continue to hope until the day there is nothing to hope for. I know you believe that, but you don't know the depth of what I do. There was a woman named Orsma River. After we somehow survived crossing the chasm, some of her own clansmen had tied her to a stake. Witch, they screamed. She was meant to starve to death. I can still see her face, the torture and the pain. Do you remember how many days she had hung there starving before we arrived? 4 days. You sound so confident, but you're wrong. They told us 3. Maybe those men lied. Or with the sun stopped, maybe they miscounted. She had been there at least 7 days already. I could feel her agony in the tapestry. According to their own absurd rules, proved she wasn't a witch, she should have been freed. Can you imagine suffering like that for a world that doesn't even remember you? That's what this is about, isn't it? This is about Juno. You're right, it's about Juno, but why shouldn't I be the one to decide what happens to her? Evan seems only partially convinced by your answers, still questioning himself. Worse, the coils of serpent are wrapping tight around the tower, and you can feel its malice growing. When I found Juno's body smashed and broken on the freezing sea, I saw the same fate for her as that poor woman starving to death. Suffering, alone, forgotten. Everyone else was so quick to give up on her. I'm grateful that you did not, but that's what you're asking me to do now. It must sound pathetic. I realize it has been hard to sympathize. But maybe of all people you can either. When you stood against Bella on the bridge of Ainatov, I finally recognized you, and I knew what you had done to Race and his child. He followed us both to Rosegard to finish the job. What would you give to have Rook back? Don't make Juno suffer and even worth it. Please, Ivor, trust me to find a solution. Ivan turns back to the serpent, his body radiating immense power as he speaks to it again. Aberrang gives you a severe look as if to say he lies. You recall her blind to complete the ritual in place of Ivan. If you're going to do something, it has to be now. Ivan, this isn't what Juno wanted. Ivan again stops speaking to the servant, but this time he turns to you with sorrow instead of anger. Juno's everything this world deserves. Instead, you got me. I'm so tired, Ivor. Courage, this was the hard part. Forgive me, Juno. I'll love you always. Please, I put my trust in you. Please do the right thing. Good game? Hello? Do you just stop there? Hello? Something. Excuse me, what's going on? Game? Game? Oh, there's a... It's not responding? Oh, come on. Oh, wow. Oh. It takes me back to like, these are all the choices throughout the game. Do you remember this one scene? And it's like, yeah, maybe she wasn't a witch, but I asked Luden's witch, and she said, oh yeah, she's a witch, leave her. And I trusted her, because I was like, a witch will know a witch. But that's just because there's like a negative connotation to witch somehow, when in reality, when with all the menders and all the magic going on, it shouldn't have been in this world. Um, I don't know whether this game will recover. I don't think it will. Uh-oh. It is gone. It has broken down. Let me just restart it real quick and see where we are. Because there's automatic checkpoints, but I don't know when the last one was. So if I click on
I've
resume,
never seen anything like a sun coming to life, and I hope I never will again. Stuck within, just a speck so far above our heads was Juno, who turned the darkness into light. Ivan did not want to leave the sun behind as we departed the inner earth. I expect he will return there often. No warp crossed our path on the long trek home. They have all turned to ash. And now, we are coming to this journey's long end. The same thought rattling around my head the whole way. Do I dare to hope?
we survived. So the cutter was that I told Ivan, Juno, this is not what Juno wanted, and apparently he did the right thing. But the game froze for a second, so I had to
I
restart.
remember this place, where my mother would braid my hair and we'd gather flowers. It's where Ivor carried me on his shoulders. This is where my father taught me to hold a bow. This is my home. Dad, is it really you?
What?
It really is.
We're in the stars.
You look so different now from the little girl who left Skour alone.
But I failed, Father. I'm so sorry. I wasn't strong enough. I couldn't save them.
Sweet girl, you failed no one.
Who's Aldous?
I could never be more proud of who my daughter has become. Do you remember gazing at the night sky with me before all of this? I've been watching the stars since I came here and found that all of those points of light are a different fate for different people. Some are meat halls of endless feasts, some are glorious battles. The brave go where they want to be.
So I never doubted that you'd come back to us.
We made it. Banner Saga 3. That makes me wonder whether she had to die, because otherwise you wouldn't have held this whole scene. Or maybe she could have gone here alive and talked to the parents who'd passed on already. This game, it immediately, it's like all the tension that was building up so far with all the fights and then the days countdown where you had to, um, you know, make the right decisions, because if you don't, then you might not even reach the world. And it's also interesting to see whether I can just, save up from some point and fail at the battles and see whether I can make it so there's not enough time to reach the tower. See whether that's a thing that can happen. See whether there's like a bad ending to the story. I definitely also want to check out whether Alette can live. This game has so many tough choices in there. Oh, wait, it's not over. It's almost hard to believe they really did it, whatever it is. But the sun's actually moving again. For a long time, things were looking pretty hopeless. The gods are dead, the world turned to dust, and still we survive. What now? Time passes. Life will return. Grass and green will sprout from the dust. I believe there are other survivors, far in the north, perhaps huddled around godstones. South of the darkness there may still be those born fleeing across the fields, or ships of men, or treacherous without Sandra. So we rebuilt. Just wish that Rook and Alette could have been here to see this. Something tells me part of them will. For a long time now I've been thinking of an epic poem. You'll never guess the inspiration. Would you care to hear what I've got? I think that would be absolutely appropriate right now. Alette smiles and draws his lute from around his back. He sings the brightness in his voice. Only the sun is stopped, cut with keen-edged sword. Little did they sleep, lest they not come home. Weary, the weight of the sun, of our bones the hills, the slayer and the slain. From their homes must all flee and cast their hone into the air. Speak in all tongues where foe may lurk, the distant day shall come. The fetters will burst, brothers fight and kinship stain, and in fear quake all. The true hero comes reluctantly, raising high the shining light. Alas, the sea is still dead and white, the hounds are hungered. We live as we live, with the mighty grief that was ours and theirs. Only we few remember it now. And gives a little cough to indicate that he's done. It's not bad, but it could use a couple more verses at the end. Aleo laughs. Aye, you're right. It certainly could. Wait, what is that? Do you see it? You squint in the ashes of twisted land spread out across the horizon. Something there is moving. It looks like a line of people at the front. Is that Ivor? Wait, did they make it out? Come on, give me more. Ah, look at the art. Look at the art. This whole game, this whole saga is so beautiful. The pacing is amazing. I don't know what it's like when you watch, because it's, less, you're less there for the fights. I still have to do all the what do I do, where do I go? Oh, there's Falco. There's a lot more people I want to save, because I felt like I've made some really stupid decisions. Actually, Falco died right before Alette, so maybe I'll go back to that. There's a lot more people I want to save. There's a lot more things to do. There's the question of whether I could save more in total if I had was better prepared for the whole city. I think that's Otlif teaching Alette. It is for certain that not Alette and Rook can make it, because in the first game you have to give it to anyone and it doesn't really matter or you attack. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know whether there's any way where you actually kill everybody. It might be because it was a kind of difficult fight, but then I just killed him as soon as I could have attacked him. But he did fight back. So I wonder if that silver arrow is actually the killing blow that could lead to Rook and Alette making it. And then you would just have Rook continue to fight, or you have whoever took the silver arrow continue to lead and make the decision story-wise. Um, there's definitely so much going on. I have so much love for this game and appreciation for the story it tells, for the decision it forces me to do, for the things it forces me to think about. Am I gonna save everybody or am I dooming more people saving? What about the witch? Just because, witches were haunted in our lifetime doesn't mean, not in my lifetime, in our setting, in our world, doesn't mean that witches are battling there too, because we have the menders. And then the whole thing about, like, after we found out that actually the threats were only fleeing, I was still attacking them, and I know that I was still attacking them because I was so eager to have fights. Um, because I really liked the fighting system, because I was getting stronger by doing so, I was getting renowned, I was leveling up. It wonder, if I play again, what I would do differently overall. I have played the first part of Banner Saga 4 times already, um, because I love it so much. I've played it twice on the Switch, which might be even better. I really like the controls, and also it feels slightly more immersive if I play it on the Switch. Oh, Days with the Bear! I love that you can have a bear. I played the second part twice. I played it once, and then I played the playthrough. And this is my first playthrough of the third part because I just kind of wanted to continue and record as I go along. Um, I'll definitely play this again. Both of my playthroughs of the second part actually were with a let, so I in parallel, whenever I didn't want to record, I was playing a third playthrough of that with Rook now to see some different things. But Rook actually can't learn how to mend, and Alet could. And in a playthrough I've uploaded, I didn't let her because in a playthrough I did by myself. She does learn that. I actually don't know the consequences of that. Then there's Egil. I wonder whether there could be a love story, whether that has any more influence. I wonder how many branching passes there are. I definitely know that there's some character that are very hard to kill, or maybe impossible to kill. I don't know whether Otlif can be killed anywhere. And there's some characters which are very easy to kill. I think Gunnulf died in a couple of my playthroughs of part one, but I really like him in his green fork outfit. I don't know why, it's probably the outfit. I wonder, like, I'm pretty sure there's a wiki for all of this. You could look it up and you could see, which characters can actually not die by stupid decisions. So if you remember in part one, all the way back, a wagon full of gold was falling down the hill and Gunnulf hold on to it. And so you could try and help him, or you could um, I don't know, it was something else, focus on something else, or you could tell him to stop. And only if you tell him to stop, and then he doesn't immediately do it, if you have to tell him again to stop, only then does he not fall down all the way up the hill and die. And you lose him. And I was so heartbroken. It happened multiple times because there's multiple choices that get him killed. I love this game. I can recommend this so highly. Even if you see me play, there's so much to do. If ever there's the saga on sale again, do get it. Or I think there's even the whole trilogy. You can get it together, and then you get some extra titles. You can have some extra items you can collect. So it's some special stuff in there. Um, like get it. It is an amazing game. Get it on a Switch if you have a Switch. But like you can play it for yourself and you can figure out so many other things. You could also, what I always liked in those decision games, I don't know, where it felt like you could be good or bad. I always liked going into the way of like, what if we just try and play bad? If you play Fable or KOTOR are the ones that pop to mind immediately, is because in those two you actually look evil if you turn to the bad side. I don't know. I keep on rambling because I wanted to see, Ivor's coming back. They just hinted at Ivor coming back. Um, I wanted to see whether there's another story part, but I guess there's not. This was a Kickstarter game. A lot of people have backed it up, if you can see here. Thanks to you for experiencing Banner Saga with us. Thank you guys for experiencing Banner Saga with me. Yes, that was it. We've done it on normal difficulty. I actually don't intend to play it on any higher difficulty. I don't. Like, I've lost some fights, I've won most fights. It was narrow sometimes. On higher difficulty, I doubt that I could do multiple rounds of fights. And it doesn't really, like, the difficulty doesn't really challenge me. Not challenge, but it doesn't make me want to replay and play it on higher difficulty. It's just about the choices for me. So anyway, thank you so much for coming along. If you've been with me throughout the whole 3 parts of the Banner Saga, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. And now I'll have to actually pick what to play next. Crazy. Um, I'll see you in whatever I come up with playing next. Until then.